This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Weight loss solutions are not one-size-fits-all. Hers makes it simpler to get started and stick with a weight loss plan, backed by expert-guided online care that puts your weight loss goals first. These include oral medication kits or compounded GLP-1 injections. Through Hers, pricing for oral medication kits start at just $69 a month for a 10-month plan when paid in full up front. No hidden fees, no membership fees. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself. Hers brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Reach your weight loss goals with help through Hers. Get started at forhers.com/4u to access affordable, doctor-trusted weight loss plans. That's forhers.com/4u, forhers.com/4u. Paid for by Hims and Hers Health. Weight loss by Hers is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions at forhers.com apply.
Welcome to the Shabby Detective, yet another Columbo podcast. I'm your host, Mike White. Joining me, of course, is Mr. Chris Dashew.
Why are you yelling at me?
We are back to talk about the 7th episode of the 2nd season, The Most Dangerous Match, which is not to be confused with The Most Crucial Game. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, those titles are eerily similar, aren't they?
This one was directed by Edward M. Abrams and written by Jackson Gillis, who has written at least one episode before, if not more. I think Edward M. Abrams has also done some Columbo before. This one came out March 4th, 1973. This is the story of chess grandmaster Emmett Clayton, who's played by Lawrence Harvey, and he is going up against his Eastern European, I'd as well say Russian guys. Eastern European champion Tomlin Dudek, who's played by Jack Ushchin, I believe is how you say his name. And yeah, they're going at this is hot chess action.
The hottest. Burning up the screen.
The Ocho. Chris, what did you think of The Most Dangerous Match?
We do another show with a friend of ours, Father Malone, called Midnight Viewing, which is a night gallery show. And we just watched the last episode of one of the last episodes of that show. And it had Lawrence Harvey in it playing this despicable guy who goes to, of all places, Borneo. And it's like an earwig in his ear. And he's this bastard who wants to have sex with this woman who is married to someone else. And it's this kind of weird love triangle thing. And he's a perfect bastard there. But I would contend he is a much more entertaining bastard here, because this almost supplants the Leonard Nimoy episode for me, because I really like this episode, primarily because it gets into this weird, like, almost triple contrived because the amount of like how smart Lawrence Harvey is hard to grasp. He is like a genius in a way that some of the characters we've run into who are killing people in the show aren't. And it is the most mundane of things that takes him down. But I love that because as far as I could perceive it, he's the smartest character that's been on the show so far.
I think you might be right. Yeah, I think that Nimoy is up there. But yeah, definitely Lawrence Harvey. I mean, he's got that whole hour of observation and memorization. We could just like look at a list and memorize it and then be like, okay, I'm going to fuck with this guy's medicines, that he can just write out everything and he knows, all of these different moves. I mean, chess people are a different breed, I think. And he portrays that so well. He's got his one fallibility, which is his hearing, that he wears his hearing aid. So again, we've got technology and Columbo going on with kind of double technology here between the garbage dump and then or garbage compactor and then what Emmett Clayton has with the hearing aid. I love the looks on his face because it looks like he's calculating all the time. He also looks confused. And it's almost like even when he has the hearing aid in, he's still having a hard time hearing. And he's still just kind of peering at the world a little harder than a normal person does.
Well, it's also because they introduced the idea that he can read lips. So you feel like he's always on and he's always watching. And man, I mean, we talked about it in that episode of Midnight Viewing. I think it's worth mentioning here, Lawrence Harvey's eyes and his eyebrows. I mean, the thing that I love about Lawrence Harvey is his haircut. The man rocks the long hair, almost mullet really well. Like he looks fantastic. I have become a quick fan of Lawrence Harvey. And I actually also love the fact that his name actually isn't Lawrence Harvey, that he's a Lithuanian-born actor whose name is Zeev Skinky or something to that effect. But Lawrence Harvey, that name just rolls off the tongue, man. And he looks like a Lawrence Harvey, too. I don't know, there's something about his look that I find very appealing, frankly, me personally.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've always found him to be very handsome, but also sinister looking at the same time. He looks like he could play the devil without any sort of problem.
The fact that he was never like opposite, like, and I know because I keep bringing it up, like the fact that he was never like in a James Bond movie in some capacity for me is kind of surprising because he has the qualities of the actors that they wanted for those parts. I mean, he plays villains a lot, I'm assuming, right? And he plays villains in the things that I've seen him in now. And it seems like he's relishing the opportunity to play villains. And I would too, because that's kind of where you really get to just go for it. And he goes for it here. And boy, pairing him with someone as kind of lovable and teddy bear-like as Jack Crucian was a smart play as well. Because Jack Crucian, I think, is for me also the first time where he's a genuinely sympathetic character. I think almost entirely, other than like the kind of mild amount of needling that he does to Lawrence Harvey, but I'm not even sure is really needling. I think he's actually being genuine with him. But Lawrence Harvey just is one of those people who can't take genuineness, even if it smacks him in the face, because he's just so like singularly focused. But having Jack Crucian as the victim was also very smart because he is just so likable and lovable and just kind of like cute and cuddly in a way that nobody else has been up until this point.
Well, it's funny because he kind of reminds me of Will Geer from that previous episode. Will Geer is a little bit more, prickly and stuff and just like, hey, I want to smell the cigar smell, please. But I feel like he would be great to hang out with. He's kind of like the guy you want to be your grandpa. Same thing with Jack Crucian here. I'm just like, yeah, he would be a great grandpa. Yeah,
he has a really warm energy to him that, in those scenes that he shares with Lawrence Harvey, where his hotel room and they're kind of going back and forth. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Like those scenes feel really genuine. And it makes how, again, singular focus Lawrence Harvey is that much more horrifying because this is one of those episodes where he doesn't kill him initially. Factors into the kind of the end of the episode, but he doesn't kill him initially. He has to go out of his way to poison him, which is like, for me, when you have a villain who doesn't kill him immediately and then continues, it's like, man, there is some malice aforethought there, like some real hard, deep-seated malice towards this person.
Well, I like that we get into his frame of mind right away, that we start this episode in a way that we don't usually start Columbo episodes with a dream sequence where it's Lawrence Harvey, Emmett Clayton on the middle of a chessboard, and Dudek is there kind of looking over things, but also all of the chess pieces have Dudek's faces, and they're all kind of converging on Lawrence Harvey. It's like It's very similar to the chess match that happens. Which Harry Potter movie is it? But you know what the very first Harry Potter movie, yeah. And
it's your move, Ron. No, Hermione, there's got to be another way. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
I can never see a life-size chessboard and not think of that scene from Harry Potter.
Well, I usually think of that or History of the World Part 1.
Also fair. Yeah, also fair.
But this one has the self-moving pieces, very much like the Harry Potter one. It's not actual people going up and smacking or fucking each other on the board, so...
I also like a man who loves a good escargot.
Yes. Oh man, I was getting so hungry watching that scene.
Yeah, I love. Not only do I love that scene, which again, I guess they're in LA. Obviously, the restaurant that they're at is not Dan Tana's, but it kind of supposed to be Dan Tana's. I feel like an old Hollywood restaurant, and I love that it's like we could smell the garlic on his sleeves. Because he was getting into it, eating those escargot. He was just, again, he's just such a wholesome character in a way so many of the people in the show haven't been, that it's like he's just sitting there and he loves escargot and he's just getting so excited. And you see Lawrence Harvey just sitting over there fucking seething the whole time. Yeah. God, he's beyond reproach in this episode. And I do love that this episode fakes you out a couple times. They have the thing where they come back from dinner and all of a sudden Dudek's guy comes to the door and he's like, where is he? He's missing. And you're like, oh shit, it's already happened off screen. And no, closes the door and they're in the room continuing to play chess against one another. I like that there are also these kind of interesting fake outs too within the episode, because it could have been rather straightforward. And in a lot of ways it is. Yeah,
Lloyd Bachner as the Russian guy, I'm just like, what? This is weird, because I'm very used to him as like Frederick Carter in Point Blank, or just like, I know we've talked about Bachner, maybe even on this podcast, if not on other ones.
Too.
Yeah, definitely.
Naked Gun too. Yeah, he was in the second Naked Gun movie.
But it's like, wow, I'm not used to this. So yeah, Bachner is playing Dudek's handler. So Dudek has his own fallibility, which is his diet. He's got diabetes, I think it is, and so he's got his handler, plus he has, what is this guy? His physical trainer, I guess.
Yeah, like a dietitian or something.
He's got like a little entourage going on here. Plus, he has the ex-fiancée of Emmett Clayton working for him, which is another blow against Clayton's ego. Because so much of this whole episode is about a man's wounded ego, because he gets beat Now, I've read two things. I read that there's one chess game that they start at the restaurant and they finish in the hotel. I've read that there's two chess games, that each one of those games is separate. I think it's only one. What is your thought on that?
I thought that there's two, because isn't there the whole plot point of like Columbo's like, well, they finished the thing at the restaurant.
Okay.
And he was like, well, who won? Because that's a whole plot point, right? Is like, who won at the restaurant? He's like, oh, well, I put the pepper forward. And he's like, well, that means you were black, which means you lost, which means you were lying. But he's like, no. That was just, I was just using the pepper shaker, which is like, okay, what a contrived ass lie that is.
Dudek keeps track of all of his games, as does Emmett Clayton, I imagine, as does, I think, every single chess player out there, like if you're worth your medal.
That was a little bit of a fake out itself. Like that ends up not I mean, that's just the circumstantial evidence that we end up kind of always getting with Columbo. It has very little to do with his dog. Let's just put it that way. Which, can we talk about the dog for a moment? Because for me, that was the moment of the episode where I was like, why is the dog here?
Dog is back. I haven't seen Dog in forever, and here's Dog again, as well as Dr. Benson.
Yeah, Dog solving the crime, essentially. When I saw the dog, the kind of like the second to last scene of the episode, I was like, okay, so the dog is going to be the one who finds this out. Not for the fact that I know Columbo's dog is a big deal in the show and that he shows up again. I'd be like, man, this feels contrived. But the fact that the dog comes back plenty of times and that this dog is like part of Columbo's character, obviously, I think really works. That it's kind of this weird moment of the dog just showing up at the crime scene. Yeah, the dog thing and those like scenes with Columbo and the dog are very funny. They're very strange too, but they are very funny.
Well, and I love that we cut from the whole chess thing over to Columbo playing checkers against the doctor, which was really nice. And just to show, like, Columbo's more salt of the earth. He's not playing chess against this guy. He's playing checkers, and he's probably going to let himself get beat. Because I don't see Columbo losing many games.
No, I don't either. And I feel like Columbo knew that it was Lawrence Harvey from like the moment he walks in that.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, this is one of those ones where it's like Columbo knew before he even got there.
That's the thing that I like how they bring Columbo into it. It's that you're talking about the fake outs. And there's the one like, oh my God, where's Dudek at? Oh my gosh, he's missing. He's over at the restaurant. And he has been missing. He also went missing at lunchtime too. Nobody talks about that one, but Lawrence Harvey saw him sneak out at lunch. He's gone at dinner. His handler's going crazy, calls the cops. That's how Columbo gets on the scene. And then he's, kind of hanging out, talking with another officer. And then it's like, oh, wait, no, there actually was something that happened. And see that ambulance going on? There was an accident at the hotel. And now Columbo's in on the case, even though it's not a homicide yet.
Yeah, and I like that they really kind of build to the moment where Lawrence Harvey kind of finally turns on Jack Crucian, and they have him, please write this note for me. I've fallen in love with this woman. And it's like, oh my God, like Jack Crucian's character is so gullible. Like, kind of appreciate it. Like, again, like kind of just, it serves the narrative of like, this is a really like genuinely innocent person. Because again, like some of these people we've seen are kind of assholes. I'm not saying they deserve it, but some of these people aren't the most deserving of like sympathy. But the amount of like time that they go to really establish the respect that Jack Crucian has for Lawrence Harvey's character and like should be mutual respect. And instead it's respect and like just animosity. And I love that you can see like the fake respect that Lawrence Harvey keeps trying to have. And he's like trying to like internalize and allow himself to be in the presence of Jack Crucian in a positive way, but he just can't allow himself to do it. Everything that he does just makes him angry.
I really like the whole chess game at the restaurant. I think that's one of the best scenes for me. I just love how it starts off kind of innocently with the moving of the salt, and then the counter of the pepper starts off the game, and how they're using all the snail shells as the pieces. And when you get that cut to towards the end, and they have all of those things on the table, that's really nice. And I really like Oscar, I think it's Baregi Jr. in here, who's got this great look, especially when he was younger. He looked like the mad scientist type. He just had that kind of look about him. He's been in a ton of great things as well. He also was in Young Frankenstein, which is one of my favorite films. But yeah, he really brings something to it. I thought we were going to get our first Vittorio Scotti appearance in here as a waiter or also working at the restaurant. Unfortunately not, but at least we get him, and we get him a few times because Columbo has to come back and clarify things. And I love how Lawrence Harvey's just like, you already spoke with this man, and just like laying everything out, like, how much did they pay you for this? So I'm like, oh, okay. And yeah, he thinks he's one step ahead, but no, Columbo, just like Jack Crucian when they go back to the hotel. And I love how he's just like,
and my queen will take your knight. Surely you expected that. And then your pawn must take my queen. Otherwise, my queen would take your bishop and you will be down 2 pieces. Then my rook takes your rook. Check. And then you must interpose your bishop at king 1. And then my bishop will take your pawn, threatening your queen. And therefore your queen must take my bishop. At which point my rook takes your bishop. Checkmate.
That's so Columbo. That is exactly what is going on with Peter Falk as Columbo. He is that many steps ahead, and he's just like, well, of course you're going to do this, and then I'm going to have this happen, and you're going to slip up over here, and why didn't he take his dentures or the special toothbrush? Oh, it was actually this guy's toothbrush? Okay, well, yeah, we're pretty darn sure that there was a murder here.
I think you would like to know that he did not pack his oh, yes, thank you for letting us know. You're welcome. I love that scene where he's just like, I thought you'd like to know that there was possibly a murder. I do like also, towards the end of the episode, because again, there is a lot of chess. A lot of chess. You mentioned kind of hot chess action. Even in like the Eddie Arnold episode where it's the military thing, like there's military stuff, but it's not ever present. This is the first one where it feels like it's in every scene. There's chess something or references to chess or mentions of chess, but the fact that they have that scene at the end where Columbo knows what's going on finally, he's figured it out, and he's just waiting to essentially trap Lawrence Harvey. I found that scene to be my favorite scene in the entire episode because the amount of arrogance that Lawrence Harvey has in that scene is a joy to watch him giving that performance of someone who's like, well, he's dead now, so there's nothing you can do to stop me. And he's just like, well, I did this and this, and here is this, and this, and I got you, and this, and I got you too, and if you want to stick around, fucking go home. And I love how just boisterous and full of hubris he is in that scene, because again, it just speaks to the quality of the performance from Lawrence Harvey here. It's mustache twirling without a singular actual mustache twirling opportunity.
I'm glad that they held themselves and did not have Columbo go checkmate at the end.
Right. That would be too like Bondian, right? Or something where it's like, he's never that pithy. It's more like anything he says at the end is like a direct jab right into the person's heart. Because in this one, he doesn't say anything, really. He just kind of looks at him and he looks at him and they go, ooh, only somebody who's deaf could have done this. It just happens to be you. I do like that ends up being, after all of the kind of other moments that we have, just like in all these other episodes, of, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. It ends up being the hearing aid. I do like that. That, it ends up being the one thing we've kept seeing him have to deal with throughout the entire episode.
That freaky dream sequence that he has where he throws the hearing aid against the mirror and it cracks and you see like it's all animated and stuff.
I appreciated those dream sequences. It made this episode feel more like Lawrence Harvey's episode than any of these other episodes have felt like that villain's episode, because we get to see his like interior monologue with himself in a way, like those dream sequences. We haven't really seen anything like that with anybody else.
I agree with you. This does feel like Lawrence Harvey's episode, and it kind of works. Like normally we're like, oh, there's not enough Columbo. But I think they use him very well in this. Yeah,
he looks shabbier than normal. I think his hair is like shorter than normal or something. Peter Falk looks a little different in this episode than he has in some of the other ones. But yeah, I like Lawrence Harvey in this episode a lot. I mean, this comes out the same year he passes away. I mean, this has got to be like
months before. Yeah,
this got to be like the same thing with Night Gallery, where this guy's like in pain throughout the entire filming, and just the amount of professionalism, right? Like
they said, he had a major fever during this episode, that he was not feeling well because of the cancer, and then he was also like feverish and sick.
What a professional, really. Oh, yeah. Like, again, like he's an immensely talented actor who I'm going to watch more of his stuff. I've never seen the original Manchurian Candidate. I've only seen the remake. Like, yeah, I'm sure. Because again, like that's a movie where he's like the second build behind Sinatra. So, and he's a great actor.
Who else is in that? James Gregory.
Oh God,
you're in for a treat, my friend. As well as Jessica Fletcher herself. We've got
Angela Lansbury.
I love the little knife dig that Columbo gives to Lawrence Harvey the first time they meet, when he says, I got a cousin in Albany. He wears the big, thick glasses. He's a big fan of yours.
Yeah, Columbo revels in needling Lawrence Harvey, I feel like. Like, there are moments we've seen in the show where it's like, well, one more thing, and then he goes and asks this question, and then normally the murderers kind of, they stop. But Lawrence Harvey always just looks so like weary of anything Columbo's going to say. He's just like, oh my God, this fucking guy. Like, yeah. I love everybody is just so fed up with Columbo all the time. I love that about his character because he's persistent. He's a dogged son of a bitch if he's anything.
It could have passed for a terrific accident. Where is your proof, Lieutenant? It could have been a perfect murder. Will you give me the proof? Can you read my lips now?
That whole screaming thing. And when he motions to the cop to turn it off, And then he keeps screaming. It's like, he got you, motherfucker, so good.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, that might be for me right now the best gotcha moment is when he's still screaming and he's like, the only way someone could have known is if they didn't know it turned off, which means it had to be someone who was deaf. Like, Lawrence Harvey's face is just like, he can't fathom how much he fucked up so minusculely that it ends up fucking everything up. Like, that one thing, all you had to do is go and hit that button, and probably he would have gotten away with it. Actually, he would have totally gotten away with it.
Well, I don't know if he would have gotten away with it because there was the toothbrush, there was the medicine. Yeah, but I think you might be right. I think he might have gotten away with it too.
Right.
If it hadn't been for that meddling detective.
Yeah, he never packed his bags, but isn't what they're going for that Dudek tried to kill himself?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you know, if he ends up going into the grinder and the grinder ends up not turning off, Lawrence Harvey is just, he just couldn't handle it anymore, you know?
The I gotcha in this one is fantastic that he has to do that. I'll tell you what bothered me. When he gives his little explanation there at the end, I really like that.
Reveling in how much he got Lawrence Harvey. Well, and again, Lawrence Harvey in that scene right before it, he is so full of himself that you know that Columbo is just relishing the opportunity to, like, just thrust the knife in and turn it as hard as possible.
And it is nice, Dog being kind of the Deus Ex canine there with the running up those stairs. And it's like, oh my God, he would have died. It's like, don't worry, mister. When the guy throws down that can, I love that moment. Just there's a lot of really good moments in this one. This one, I'm glad that you liked it because this one, with me growing up on Columbo, this was one of my favorites. And I read, I can't remember if it was Columbo Files book, but he was just like, yeah, doesn't make any sense. Lawrence Harvey should have stuck around and made sure that he died. And I was like, no, again, I think it's that hubris thing. I think he thought, once I push this guy in here, it's okay and I can just leave. I don't think he ever had second doubts about anything. And then the hearing aid is really what trips him up.
It ultimately just becomes this man is deaf. That is the key to catalyze a circumstantial evidence case, because everything else is 100% circumstantial.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I came into the hospital, I saw you writing something. You must have been writing down the combination of drugs that he's getting. So that it's like, no. That's the thing. I mean, we've mentioned that before in a couple episodes that we've talked about, where it's like, would this person, if they went to like court, actually go to prison? I think Lawrence Harvey would still get away with it ultimately. I think it's still circumstantial, right? Like,
yeah, because there's no way they can prove that he was the one that packed that bag. I don't think they find the pad of paper that he uses and that he used to get Dudek to write that quote unquote suicide note.
They have the pen. Columbo goes, I grabbed your pen and I used it. But that felt more like a bluff, because Columbo's done those before, where he's like, well, I took it to my guy in the lab and he said it matches. So, because we've seen before Columbo can kind of get a confession out of these people. We've seen him do it. But Lawrence Harvey doesn't admit to anything. Lawrence Harvey just goes, like, he reacts to what Columbo says, but he never goes like, I killed him. Yeah, he just freaks out because he's like, oh shit, like the thing was off and you got me. But he never admits it. And like, I do wonder, because again, it is all circumstantial. Even him being deaf is technically circumstantial. So
yeah, very tight episode. Very well put together. And I kind of wish that there were more of these episodes written by Jackson Gillis. I don't remember how many more times he's going to come back with stuff, but I have enjoyed this. And I'm trying to remember what the previous one that he wrote was.
Requiem for a Falling Star and Dagger of the Mind.
So he's on fire this season.
Dagger of the Mind was a good one. And Requiem for a Falling Star, that was the John Kalikos with the fountain, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty good too. Yeah. Better than the Greenhouse Jungle for sure.
Pretty weak start to the season. And we're really finishing up strong here with things like, well, Etude in Black was pretty decent, but yeah, Greenhouse Jungle, Most Crucial Game, those were not the best ones in the world. We started to pick back up once Columbo made that little side trip over to England. But I'm hoping you enjoy the final episode as much as I do. I think it's a lot of fun.
I mean, I'm a fan of Martin Landau, so...
Oh, and you get Martin Landau and Martin Landau in that episode.
Double the Landau, double the fun.
Has Nimoy ever played twins? I think he could do that really well, or could have done that.
Yeah, I don't think so. Martin Landau. I love Martin Landau. I'm super excited. Martin Landau is just like a actor who I can only associate with the Pinocchio movie and the X-Files movie, because those are the only things I've seen him in. So I'm excited to see him in like the things that he would be known for, because he was in what? Get Smart or Mission Impossible, one of those.
Mission Impossible, yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, yeah, as well as so was our friend Mr. Nimoy. And, well, you've seen Ed Wood.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, boy. Do I have to call Father Malone? And
he knows I've never seen it.
Really? Oh,
he
wow.
knows. I have never. It's a movie that I have never seen, and I know that he's a massive part of it, and he's one of the better parts of an already amazing movie. Right? He's a standout.
That was one of Tim Burton's best movies, I think. And then the guys that wrote it, Larry and Scott. It's like, I'm not that big of a fan of the Big Eyes movie, which I think Burton also directed, or Man in the Moon, and The People versus Larry Flint. I think that the Ed Wood movie is their best work. Yeah,
one of these days I'll watch it. I really want to. It's just a matter of like finding the time.
Tim Burton knows how to use Sarah Jessica Parker too, which is nice.
Very few people do.
Yeah, I totally agree. So yeah, I'm very curious to get your thoughts on that one. That's a lot of fun.
I'm excited only because it'll be also our first dual role. And is dual roles a thing that will come back? I don't know, but I'm excited for the first one. So
yeah, we'll be back next month with a look at Double Shock. And then for some reason, there is a secondary title on Wikipedia, which is Murder Times 2. So I'll look into that before we come back. Until then, Chris, what are you working on these days?
Well, I am working on all kinds of other audio projects that you can find at weirdingwaymedia.com, including but not limited to the aforementioned Barney Miller Show, a Kolchak podcast that is now in the bag, the Night Gallery podcast, Midnight Viewing that I mentioned, and then the Culture Cast, which I work on every week. And it's a movie podcast where we talk about whatever movies I feel like or other people want to share. So you can find all those things at weirdingwaymedia.com. What about you, Mike?
Well, you can always find what I'm working on over at weirdingwaymedia.com as well. Kind of crazy. And then I also do a show called The Projection Booth, which is available at projectionboothpodcast.com, as well as Weirding Way Media. So you can actually find more episodes at weirdingwaymedia.com than you can find on projectionboothpodcast.com, just because I do so many specials and I don't post all of them on the website. Chris, you're going to be running into that as you are helping me out revamping some of the Spreaker stuff that is going on. But yeah, always confusing.
I love it.
Well, I want to thank John Walker for composing our theme song. I want to thank Colin Gallagher for composing our end song, the wonderful Bossa Nova tune. It's fantastic. I always love listening to it as we play out. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please be sure to rate and review it over on whatever podcast platform you happen to download from. Though really, I'm talking about iTunes, which I think is where we get most of our listens from. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again next month about The Shabby Detective.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondersight comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wonderside's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind the scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.